The shot that sealed the deal for Eklund Kachi, semi-finalist back in 2017, is once again in the last four with a gritty battling win over Jeffrey Ignacio. Up next for him tomorrow is Johan Chua for a place in his first world final. All right, let's have a look at what that means. Johan Chua through against Dang Zhu. Obviously, he'll take on Eklund Kachi. We know the semi-finalist for tomorrow, but we also are waiting to see what happens with this one. Wiktor Zielinski versus Wojciech Szewczyk. They will come on now on table one, and Fedor Gors will take on Anton Raga in our main TV table. It's always hard to see if Eklund is happy or not with his performance. I'm just going to ask you, happy with what you've done there tonight?
I mean, I won, but yeah, I missed like 2-3 shots, I think, so I wasn't supposed to miss them, but I made some shots that I was supposed to miss maybe, so it is what it is.
You've been playing on a lot of the outer tables and not so much the main TV table. Is it playing a bit differently? A lot of players have maybe spoken about the cloth, the pockets feel a bit tighter as well?
Yeah, the break didn't go as I expected. It wasn't breaking as the previous match. I think I was hitting good, just the balls didn't run so well. And yeah, the lighting is a little bit different, a little bit more warmer. I can't complain about the cold now. But yeah, I
I've
mean,
seen you do your thing.
I'm happy to get the win.
Yeah, obviously 2017 World Semi-Finalists, you're hoping to go one better. How's your game then and your game now? What are the differences?
Before the accident?
Yeah.
I mean, before the accident, I was playing almost dead perfect. I was winning like a couple tournaments in a row, runner-up in the Whirlpool Masters. I mean, I think I'm getting there, but it's not like...
Not 100% yet.
Not 100% where I'm supposed to.
That's quite scary. If this is you at 75%, I'm scared to see what 100% looks like.
I mean, we always work on playing better and better, so I think nobody gets happy with the performance.
Yeah, and at last, there's a few fans in to watch. You like playing in front of the crowd, don't you?
I mean, I like the pressure. I like playing in the big crowds. That's why we play the game, you know? It's the pressure what makes it beautiful.
Johan Chua, a comfortable win for him against Dang. Obviously, he's up next for you. What do you think that game will be like? Both of you very fast players, both of you very good cue in action. How will that game play out?
He's a pretty good player. I guess it's going to be a tough match for both of us. We need some luck. The break works well, then it becomes a little bit easier. But if the break doesn't really break so well, then you have to play safeties here and there, and you never know how it's going to go.
What next for you tonight? Do you stay and watch the other semi-finals or quarterfinals, or do you go back to the hotel and chill out?
Not really. I'm out of here tonight.
And deservedly so. Congratulations into your second semi-final. Well done.
Thank you.
Well, here we go, ready for more matches in the quarter-finals. Johan Chua and Eklund Kachi have secured their place in tomorrow's semi-final. Who will be joining them in the biggest ever Whirlpool Championship? It's time to find out. Up first on table number one, an all-Polish clash. Please welcome into the arena Wojciech Szewczyk and Wiktor Zielinski. And here on the TV table, blockbuster viewing. Please welcome into the arena the Dragon, Anton Raga, and his opponent, the world number 2, Fedor the Ghost Gors.
Welcome back, everyone. It's taken a while for the action to recommence, but here we go with our second quarter-final of the evening on Table 1. It is Poland against Poland. Wojciech Szewczyk up against Wiktor Zielinski. I would make Zielinski favourite, but how can you possibly write off Szewczyk? He's had a really good career. He's as solid as a rock, and he's coming off that win over Shane van Boening this afternoon. This is just their practice rack, of course, just to get attuned to the table. So let's get you right up to date with what's occurred. Johan Chua, you might have seen earlier on the Matchroom Pool YouTube channel, defeating Dang Junhui 11-3. It was really comprehensive. Lots of distinct shot-making efforts, as you might expect from Chua. And he now plays Eklund Kachi, who in a slower-paced contest came through 11-7 against Jeffrey Ignacio. So the top half of the draw, we know the semi-finalists. It will be the Philippines against Albania. As for the bottom half of the draw, that will be determined over the next hour or so, maybe even 2 hours or so. Again, the quarterfinals are a race to 11. And for Wiktor Zielinski, well, he's number 11 in the World Nineball Tour rankings. So getting through this would see him zoom into the top 10. As for Szewczyk, well, he's a 3-time Polish Nineball champion. Distinctive, very wide stance. He's the older of the two, he's 29 years of age. Zielinski, for all of his success, is still only 23.
Delivering under big pressure, I think that's what it comes down to.
Szewczyk has been in this stage of the World Nineball Championship before, in 2015. For Zielinski, well, it's new territory. I think it's fair to say Szewczyk is the more deliberate of the two. Zielinski likes to play at a quick pace. He's got a very fluid, you might say loose cue action. Terrific potter. He hails from the city of Poznan.
Does that make sense? Yeah.
This practice rack just gets the cue on going, gets the players accustomed to conditions.
That's okay. Thank you very much.
These two have knocked in 1 million balls, but a few more won't hurt. So joining me in commentary for this one is Jeremy Jones. Jeremy, I'm keen to know who you think will win.
Well, I mean, Wojciech didn't really play that great overall against SVB. Zielinski's always pretty solid, and his break has improved dramatically, so I got to go with the money favorite here, Zielinski.
Well, we disagreed on the first quarter-final on this table this evening, and you were proved conclusively correct. I'm also of the mind that Zielinski will win. Tell you what, though, with him, he does have a tendency at times, if he's not playing well, to drop the head a little. Now, in this particular match, which is so important, surely he won't do that. I'm just saying it is a possibility.
Well, it's something he's consciously worked on, and he can go on tilt a bit. You know, if things not going his way, or if he makes a big mistake or two. You know, he's been waiting a while. Both guys have had to think about it. I think Szewczyk, it probably is going to do him pretty good overall after the last match. Szewczyk, though, breaks the balls really well. I give him a little bit the favorite there on breaking the balls. Zielinski can sometimes get a little thin on the rack, but just feel like Zielinski's been in these bigger situations a bit more on the World Nineball Tour of late.
Yes, and he's still only 23 years of age. He won the Treviso Open in Italy when he was 16.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing, too, because at that time, you know, the Euro Tour field has lightened up a bit of late. Still difficult, but at that time, it was just about as tough a tournament as you could play in, really, day in, day out, right?
In the final, he demolished Mario He 9-1, a 16-year-old. That's how good he is. That's the potential he has. The referee for this one is Ben Taylor-Fuente.
Yeah, very interesting. Second quarterfinal. It's actually our third and fourth of the evening, but our second one on the other table, the TV table, between Anton Raga and Fedor Gorst.
Have a great match, Wojciech.
So this really isn't second fiddle to anything, this match here, but you got to believe that one's going to be a lot of fireworks as well. Now, these lags aren't going to be short. Well, at least I thought so.
Wojciech Szewczyk wins the lag.
Szewczyk did bounce it off the rail, so I think that's a good thing considering the lags we've seen this week.
I'll tell you what, Wojciech Szewczyk has come an awfully long way since he lost his opening match. He was beaten 9-6 by Yanasuta Camino of Spain.
Wojciech Szewczyk to break.
Since then, though,
Yes.
on recovery. Just asking there, is this a full table referee job? And of course it is, as you might expect for the quarterfinals of such an immense event.
Yeah, most of the spectators have really moved to the main arena, but that's to be figured, right? And he really breaks them simply, right? The long, tall man. They're both tall. And you never know, of course, two players that are undoubtedly close friends, but have battled through the years in many kinds of Polish championships and whatnot. You never know who kind of holds over one player versus the other. May have a little go at the 9 here. Now the good thing about it is if he hits and splits the 5-9, he could get the 3-7 open, because he'll certainly try to pocket the 2 as well. Now if he just goes at the 9, he could get himself in a bit of a dilemma on the 3 if the 9 happens to not fall. I like kind of a stunnish high ball here. I really think he can break those balls open.
As you say, 3 ball is a thorn. It's a line now.
I don't think we'll see the ace that we saw in our last quarterfinal here on table number 1. I think he will attack. Speed that would happen, and he could evaluate from there. But a nice opening shot, right? I mean, you've been sitting a while. I know they've been practicing and probably getting a little bite, a little rest, waiting on this match, but we did the same besides practicing, right?
Well, yeah, the thorn in the side has now been switched. It's in Szewczyk's. Did they think, because of past precedent, they would have thought correctly, did they think that after the swift Chua victory, they would be going straight onto this table? Maybe they did, you know.
Yeah, I think they probably did. I think it was somewhat of a last-second decision. Really, the voices to be and the people in charge Really wanted to give him the entry for all quarterfinals, bring him in on the grandest stage as possible.
Please start the clock.
And that's the thing, just like SVB, I saw a lot of different types of mistakes in that last match from Szewczyk. And a little light there trying to tie the 3-9 up. And really, if you think about it, no reason to be light, because you can put the 3 on the back of the 9. You don't have to tie the 7 up on the 3, right? You could bump the 3 into a bad position. So ball in hand, like we always say, a nice way to start.
Yes, and at this level, when you see a deliberate foul shot played like that, you rarely see such a blunder. It was just a gift.
Yeah, and really, anytime you're playing that type of shot, you got to look at where your room for error is, just like any other shot. And if you saw it, really all kinds of clatter could have happened with enough speed. You never know. The 7 might have tied up on the 9. The 3 may have opened, you know, just who knows. But ending up short was really the mistake, and he ended up a little short here as well.
Extension call.
Asking the referee for his extension. Shot clock in operation, 30 seconds per player. 1 extension per rack.
And I've always thought the taller players have the advantage as far as the swing itself. Just really easy. Always saw the tall players have what look like the smoothest motions. Kachi's a little different. He's a little, I don't want to say rigid, that's not the right way, just a little more decisive with it, but it's just a math thing, really. If you're taller, you just don't have to swing quite as hard to get as much power. You certainly see it with Zielinski, and he's got a great touch as well.
Yeah, really good field player, gets on with it. Attractive to watch, and now in a 1-0 lead.
Okay. Thank you.
So Zielinski has arrived here with an unbeaten run. Started out beating Hussein Maroum of Bahrain 9-5, then Jan van Lierop of Holland 9-3. Aydin Pikniach 11-4 was beaten in the last 64. Then the 6 times World Masters champion, former World Nineball champion Ralph Souquet. Zielinski beat him 11-6 before overcoming Zhao 11-3 this afternoon. I watched a lot of that match because it was up by our other commentary position, and Zielinski looked very much at home. In contrast, as we said, Wojciech Szewczyk lost his opening match, but he won the next 2, beating Shane Walford to qualify for single elimination.
But does Zielinski
and
to break?
since then, victories over Moritz Neuhausen, Piers Labutis and SVB have followed.
Foul stroke. Ball in hand.
Not the hit on the break he wanted to start. Now Szewczyk with ball in hand to return. Hit those way thick. I really haven't seen him break a whole lot here. I watched him in the States in a couple of ranking events, and again at the UK Open, it looked like it had improved. Interesting player, though. He kind of gets down with the cue stick moving. Obviously, something he's done since a young boy when he started, but most players don't have that kind of deal going on. But it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just kind of unique.
Yeah, I've always thought the same with him. I've always thought that he's more coordination than convention.
Yeah, for sure. But he plays the game pretty nicely, you know. His pretty percentage pool, I think, on a lot of position plays. His safeties, again, like any player, are getting better and better. Kicking at the ball, he's improved a ton. Jumps the ball nicely like all the young players these days. So I wouldn't say anything weak other than, you know, if it starts to get a little mental. And again, I mean, you know, with everything at stake, you can see it.
Extension call.
Mental. All right, he's worried about something. I really don't see the problem. Is he going to stun this ball over? Okay. should fall kind of straight here. It did land on the rail, but shouldn't be a problem. Original plan to go forward off the 2, but I thought that was still available. See a pretty nasty 7-ball over on the side rail. Now the 8's out in the middle, so that helps. Szewczyk, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Phil.
Sorry, Jeremy. Anton Raga has drawn first blood against Fedor Gorst on the main table.
Well, just about everyone has this week. He's had a couple leads, but not many. Would you list this as the comeback of the tournament, down 7-0?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
In terms of international exposure, maybe Amir Ali wasn't the best known, but to be 7-0 down against anyone, you need to do well to get back into it.
Yeah, and Ali had won matches, so it wasn't like his first match, and so he's definitely had some success. At the same time, Filler had come back from a 9-4 deficit. Now he got a little straight. He does have a little bit of an angle, not a lot. So this is where when you have to stun, that's where your speed control, whatnot, can get away. He's got a little more angle, so he can add some right spin here to open up the cue ball. This is the problem, though. Is he going to fall straight? He got just underneath it, which I'm not sure how much that's going to help unless he really wants to risk going forward to the top rail. So I like what he's doing here. You really like to pick out where you like to shoot from on the rail. You do have some options. A lot of players will pull it back a little bit to get a little more angle to create easy movement on the cue ball. And a little better cueing over the side pocket. Confident stroke there, probably the best of the match so far. I know it's early, but I'd like to get that feeling on such a tough shot.
Doubt surrounds this one, though. This is missable.
Absolutely, and he needs to put a lot of what he did on the 8-ball, about the same, really. Same pace would be nice.
Okay.
I tell you that you can hear the shot
Wojciech
clock guy
Szewczyk
seems
wins the
a
rack.
little quick, right? I mean, the last one on the 22nd and the 5 seconds seemed a little hasty.
Well, he also seemed to call out 5 after the shot had been played.
Right.
So Wojciech Szewczyk, against the clock and against Wiktor Zielinski, is back onto level terms. Last year, in this championship, he overcame David Al-Qaedi in the last 64, 11-9. But then in the last 32, hardly had a look in. He was beaten 11-1 by Duong Quoc Wang of Vietnam.
Yeah, Wang's got that kind of game, though. He's got a really high-powered, big stroke. Learning more about the game as well. Didn't have his best Whirlpool Championships here. He looked stressed out, though, playing. Just happened to be doing some comms when he was on a table near.
Rack 3.
He'll be back, though. We'll see him in
Szewczyk's a
Vietnam.
break.
Had a big event.
Scores are tied,
We'll see him
one
before
rack
as
each.
well. You can tell he doesn't put as much pace. That's why the balls don't open. There are some kisses involved, but it seems like those kisses happen more often with the less pace. Did have the 2-ball escape up table, but snookered
Push out
behind the
cool.
black. Should push out near the pink, maybe. I wouldn't push out to a shot here. He's looking to push out in this right corner. And I understand there's a lot of safeties, but man, you don't want to push out to a run out. Maybe tie something up. That wouldn't be bad. Not a whole lot of access to do that. He's a little worried about leaving an easy safety option. And I'm about to say,
Wiktor, it's
he
your
snuggered
choice.
himself here. That was a sweater.
Yeah, that's the thing with the push-outs. You want to make things awkward for your opponent, but you don't want to leave the possibility of him making an immediate choice to put you right back in, because you put yourself not just in an awkward position, but in a very tough one. And that was nearly as much of a misjudgment as the one that Szewczyk made in the first rack, when his deliberate foul shot did not tie up the balls as he wanted to.
Yeah, this may find a gap from nowhere. No, good shot, and a shot if you're going to practice. That's like one of the base shots of all safeties that kind of chip the ball, go 2 rails towards the center diamond. The 9 and other balls always in that racking area. Plus, it kind of, like I said, it gives you a real good feel on how to hit the ball for
Extension
other shots.
Cool.
1-1 here. Same thing on the main table. Fedor Gorst has won the second rack.
Okay, I don't think he's going to attack here. Maybe. Figure he's going to chip this to the right side rail. Trying to figure out a good place to go with the cue ball. Oh, he's going the other way, it looks like. Chipping the 2 on that end. Yeah, that had quite a few balls to play the snooker. This is what I worried about, though. Jump shot bringing the cue ball back behind the pile. Now, this last match, it was a real grind against SVB. There were a lot of safety battles, a lot of difficult racks. That was really
Last
nice.
call 10.
Now Ben Taylor Fuente, our referee, who's extremely good at his job, I think he might have had a word there with one of the timekeepers, and I think it might have been, you must call time. Maybe the shot clock wasn't called. I don't
Extension
think he
call.
exceeded the 30 seconds, definitely not. I think it was just the warning numbers.
Yeah, I hope they realize you got to let the cue ball settle before you start the clock, though. That's a huge one. Wow, didn't expect that miss. That was
Foul
pretty
stroke.
easy overall.
Ball in hand.
It's going to be a messy little rack, though. That's going to take some tidy cue
Please
ball
start the clock.
handling to get in position on the pink. The 2 and 3 shouldn't be a problem, but so he's going to take this on. Now, is he going to draw back and play for the angle on the 3 to maybe zigzag the cue ball? That's a little safer route than trying to draw into position. And he kind of got in between. Didn't get a lot of angle, but got too much to draw into between the 5 and 8. I would have liked a little more angle to come back and forth and drop between the 4-5. This could end up a little short because he doesn't want to get snookered overhitting. I think he's okay. Still, though, the 5's tough. You know, the 5 didn't go by the 8. Awkwardly cueing near the 7, it appears.
Yes, at that pace, he needed some contact with the 6 ball in the tap on the 6. Safety's positional bacon. He does have shape, but needs to go all around the houses.
5.
he didn't do anything of that sort. He's just left himself at mid-distance. All very well to be conservative, but that was really cautious, because it now brings in the miss, brings it into sharp focus.
Yeah, he's got the 8 to slow the cue ball down.
One thing led to another there. He was reliant on a little bit of fortune.
Yeah, he's got a sliver. I mean, I don't know if it cuts it in, but I think it does. Could go rail first. Yeah, want a little more speed. You're always playing the cue ball, that kind of shot, knowing the 6 will come out. How can he hold? Does he have to go 4 cushions with the cue ball? Can go up the side rail a bit off of 2 cushions before snookering himself on the 9, so he may drag this in.
Bye.
He was addressing the 6 ball in earnest when the call came out for 5 seconds, but it didn't affect the shot at all. That was rifled in with advanced position incorporated.
Yeah, and on the slicker tables, he's got to hit that really well, not to let the ball hook.
I'm not saying this is the tortoise and the hare. It's not that pronounced, the difference, but Szewczyk is more methodical than Zielinski. And I can tell you it's working, because after Zielinski won the opening rack, he falls 2-1 behind. Been a good year for Zielinski already. He won the US Open 8-ball title and also a smaller ranking event on the World 9-ball Tour in Massachusetts, the McDermott Classic.
Yeah, I was there actually for that. Went up and did a little teaching and actually played in the one pocket event they had, and then did the commentary for the 9-ball. He played super solid. There was a lot of great play at that tournament. I think it was me and you when I told you about no, I think it was me and Michael. Did you hear about the 9-ball moving on Mario He?
No.
So he's playing Tyler Steyer, I think it is. It's Hill. He's down on the 9. I've never seen this before. So he's got, you know, the 9's near the spot, like it is often, a little below the spot. And when he pulls the trigger, he missed the 9 by like half a diamond. He's just like, you know, a little above it. You know, not a chip in or anything, a little cut shot, but he's making it like probably 99 out of 100, if not more. And he says the 9 moved on me right as I was hitting the cue ball.
Break, leading 2 racks to 1.
And sure enough, they had it on video, and the 9 rocked over about 1/4 of an inch. I've never seen that before in my life, ever. You know, I've seen the balls move before, like if you move the felt, you know, he was already in position and everything else. And I don't know if it was, you know how sometimes they get divots in the racking area from tapping the balls or whatever, right? It's the only thing I could imagine happened, but And you'll see this, he's not hitting them real hard, so you're not going to see big spreads here. And sure enough, he missed it again. You can go see it on YouTube. It's the craziest looking, like a ghost, really.
Well, in snooker, obviously, there are 6 colours which go on nominated spots, and sometimes, especially on the 3 heavily used spots, the blue, pink and black, little indentations appear on the slate, and it can cause a ball to wobble, but I've never seen it do that when a player's down on the shot.
I saw it in snooker not long ago, like 4 or 5 days ago. I saw this. I can't remember the player. I don't think it was a really big name player. He's got a pretty easy kick shot, by the way. He can kick at the edge of this 2 and just glide by the red 3. He's lined up pretty well to do so, but the player got up and said the red moved and kind of laughed about it. And I think everyone thought he was kind of crazy, but then they showed the video again in slow motion. Sure enough, the red rocked over. Yeah, and it wasn't in the racking area or nothing. It was kind of like near the side pocket.
I've seen instances where the ball moves as a player is down, but he's never been deprived of a pot. Yeah.
Well, I mean, you couldn't miss it this far. I mean, you might miss anything, but Mario, missed it by almost a diamond up the side rail. That's how much it moved over.
Foul stroke.
Yeah,
Ball in hand.
Didn't that look difficult? Didn't it look like he was maybe hooked a little bit or rather thin?
Please start the clock.
With the option to not shoot it.
Well, it's a foul, ball in hand. And you were saying, Jeremy, Zielinski's been working on his patience. That work will be called into action right now, because he's already feeling a little hot under the collar the way the match is going.
Yeah, now this is awkward unless he gets all the way back over, and he's not going to do that. So he's going to get thin here. And that ball, it's just different with the slick table. You almost have to center ball that to get all the way back over. But is he even going to shoot at this? Doesn't appear so.
He's a lot more patient than his opponent. He is more circumspect, but he's not as dangerous or as instinctive.
Now, I wouldn't get fooled with the 2-rail kick soft here and try and lay on the 3. I'd go ahead and put some speed, try and get a little bit of fortune, yeah. No rail, so he's on 2 fouls.
Foul stroke, 2 fouls.
Which isn't going to matter or shouldn't matter in this position, but
please start the clock.
He happens to get out of line and has a good safety with the balls kind of spread open, but he's going to clear. Actually, Zielinski beat me in that 1-pocket tournament. Should have beat him, Phil. Had him on the ropes. He played pretty well, though. Scott Frost, one of our pundits, won it. I don't think he has to use a rail. He could. He's close enough to it again, a little preference, but it looks like he can just pinch on the cue ball. May go ahead and use the rail, though. And I think just because of the humidity, and we saw with the lags, I think the bed has played a little slow this week, in my opinion. I don't know what your thoughts on that is, or are, rather.
Yeah, I don't think it's been slow per se, but I think it's been slower than normal major 9-ball World Tour ranking events.
Yeah, many times this week I saw a snooker as the cue ball was rolling around, looked like it was dead going behind a ball and ended up not only a little short sometimes, but quite a bit.
Yeah, the ability to maneuver the cue ball around the table, that's still there, unaffected, but Jeremy's right, the pace isn't quite what it normally is.
Yeah, and if you had to, the players most likely anyways, I would say, the top players, the players that are really here to win the event, this event, they're all here to win it, but most of our regular open events, I think they'd rather have it a hair slow than overly fast.
Yeah, especially considering how raw the nerves are. Wojciech Szewczyk is going okay, though. 3 racks in succession to turn a 1-0 deficit into a 3-1 lead.
Yeah, but I mean, that's the thing, right? And that's what it was with Shane. It wasn't breaking runs, you know, so it can be a little worrisome if you're having to win games with, or the vast majority of your games with your opponent getting out of his chair. Szewczyk needs his, well, as he breaks the balls, but he's going to get some clusters, he's going to get some traffic.
Wojciech Szewczyk
feel
to
like
break.
even to win this
Even
match,
3
and
racks to
certainly
1.
to win the tournament, he's got to put some racks together during these matches.
Szewczyk breaking off in rack 5, 3-1 ahead. Also in front now, Fedor Gorsht, 2-1 over Anton Varga. One in the side, the 2 looks like it's in open play.
Yeah, definitely. I don't know if the 3 goes. The 2, he's set up perfect, really. Can draw it, can come stun 2 rails. I think the 3 may squeeze by the 9. If it does, he should. Oh, yeah, definitely. Just don't end up short. That's the problem here. If you end up short going towards the 9 with the cue ball, it may be hard to get on the 4. He's going to like that a lot. Shoot somewhat the same shot, 2 rails, may be able to hold it. He's going to get a lead here early. Draw to the side rail, it appears. Thinner than maybe he wanted. Can he hold, or does he have to go to the top rail and back out? Looks like he can hold.
Polish pool is powerful. The runner-up in the recent UK Open, Mieszko Fortunski, hails from Poland. So many fine players in the national squad, and of course it was the home nation for the World Championship last year.
What's Szewczyk's biggest title, do you think?
Well, he won the World 10 ball, didn't he?
Yeah.
But this would eclipse that in terms of cash by a country mile.
Yeah. He's played for Poland a few times in the World Cup, though, I believe.
Yes, he has.
Wojciech Szewczyk
4-1 to the outsider before a ball was struck.
Yeah, first break and run.
He's always come across to me, Wojciech Szewczyk, as someone who invests an awful lot into pool. He thinks deeply about it. There's no doubt he's very dedicated. practices a lot and one of the finest players Poland's ever produced. Can't help thinking back to when I first went to Poland to cover a pool tournament, the old World Pool League for Matchroom in Warsaw. And back then, it was deemed just correct, I suppose, the right thing to do to put a home player in. And there was not the strength and depth there is now. It was the pioneer, actually, from Poland. Their first competitor to do anything on the international scene, Branislav Babica.
Yeah. Well, he's starting to play, you know, in the last year and a half, 2 years, he's played quite a few of the World Nineball Tour events. He's had some good wins, not maybe as much finishes, you know, he had years before, but
Rack 6.
super nice guy,
Wojciech
big
Szewczyk
veteran
to
of
break.
the game.
Leading 4 racks to 1.
I think Gorse is up 3-1 now, I believe.
He is indeed.
A little more opening there. He keeps making that other ball in the side pocket as well. Pretty interesting. Wing ball coming some 3 rails, splitting the gap between the 8 and 9, following the 1 ball in, that being the 2. He's lined up on the 3. Everything does play.
And he knows what to do to win tournaments, as we talked about before with the PRP Nineball Open last year. He's won European titles, Polish Nineball champion 3 times. 3 times in the last 6 years, actually. And given the level of opposition in that tournament, that's a really good achievement. He's won the Bucharest Open as well. Lots of experience. And he has been a quarter-finalist before in the World Championship in 2015. So trying to go one step beyond.
Perfect position here, just didn't want to end up short. Can work with it, but that looks just to be perfect. He's just got to pinch the cue ball back a couple inches. Can handle a few more, just don't be short and involve the 9 in the next shot.
When we were in Kielce last year, I remember Carl Boyes went out and had a chat, a walk and talk, as they say, with Wojciech Szewczyk, and he came across very well. Considered, measured, intelligent, and deeply enthusiastic about pool.
Yeah, there's so many great poles. Must have been some walk through that blizzard, I tell you.
Well, it was freezing, I think, all of them. Cameraman, Carl, and Wojciech had plenty of layers on. What a contrast to here, Jeremy.
Yeah, looking good. Looks like the stroke's kind of getting a bit more confident as well, more strike at the ball. Kind of hear it as he goes through with the cue stick. Now for back-to-back breaking runs and a 4-game lead.
Wojciech Szewczyk wins the rack.
Wiktor Zielinski in danger of not being the victor. He's being confined to his chair. That's why he's just taking a short break. Can't blame him, taking the old timeout, which is perfectly allowed. Wojciech Szewczyk, having lost the first rack, He's now in command. I'm going to do a Michael McMullen on you here.
Oh, Lord.
You know, he's very keen on these trivia questions, isn't
Right.
he? Well, this isn't a trivia question. It's just a point I've noted. Is this the first ever World Nineball Championship quarter-final when both players have a Z in their name? Or a Z?
So you know of another, maybe?
I don't. I've got no idea.
A Z, let's see. Trying to think of another player with a Z.
Well, Konrad Yuzhushin.
Yeah. Probably have to be another pole, 2 poles in it, really, but
I think we can safely say this is the first.
I don't know, probably. Z's a different letter, that's for sure.
Steve Miserak.
Yeah.
Maybe. That's the scene here as the quarterfinals half over. If you're just joining us on the Matchroom Pool YouTube channel, thanks for your support this week. The numbers have been terrific and we've loved bringing the action to you. I'll give you the results from earlier this evening. Johan Chua, very impressive, lots of inventive shots in beating Dang Junhu of China, 11-3. So the Filipino World Cup hero, he goes forward to play Eklund Kachi in the semi-finals tomorrow. Kachi beating Jeffrey Ignacio, Chua's friend actually, 11-7. Now it's Szewczyk or Zielinski against Gorst or Raga. By the way, we don't know the order of the semi-finals yet. That will be determined later. So semi-finals tomorrow afternoon, back-to-back races to 11, and then the final tomorrow night. A total amount of money in that final, $350,000 US, 250,000 to the winner, 100,000 to the runner-up. And of course, plenty of other team and invitational event spin-offs to be considered also. If it goes tight, it will be a godsend. We've got the shot clock, because can you imagine? You wouldn't fancy pulling the queue back.
Yeah, I think the players, of course, whoever does advance will have played a semifinal, most likely a pretty good one, to advance. So I think that bodes well for a great final.
It will be the lengthiest match we've had on the World Nineball Tour so far. The normal distance for finals in major events is a race to 13. This is race to 15, so best of 29 racks. And I think that's entirely appropriate, don't you, with the money and the racking points on offer, that you have that extended race.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, these players, again, they realize these matches can change. We want them to change. We want them all over the place. 5-6 lead changes, big momentum changes.
There's a degree of irony here, because Wiktor Zielinski took his time out and he's the first back in. We have been blessed on the WNT of late with a whole succession of finals going very deep, often to a deciding rack. Could we wish for that tomorrow? We are due a runaway. I'm just saying that. Statistically, I don't think it will happen, but we're due one.
Yeah. We've had a few in the semifinals. We finally had a break and run at a hill-hill match, which is rare. It seems like it's always a push-out situation, but Fedor Gorst in the Whirlpool Masters at hill-hill made a really nice break and run.
Rack 7.
Get that title.
Wojciech Szewczyk to break.
He's up
leading
4-1,
5 racks
by
to
the
1.
way. Raga made a bit of a mistake after making an incredible shot.
Okay, then, so can Wojciech Szewczyk maintain this momentum? After that, could it be 3 consecutive break and run outs? I think there is a passageway through to the 2.
think he can definitely get at this blue two. I think so anyways. May have to gamble just drawing one rail. Can he go around the 7, fall for a long distance shot on the 3? The 4 is pretty covered up as well though. Might gamble here and go into this like the 6-5 with the cue ball, but he's overcooked it a little bit here. He's gonna have to show us one.
He's never struck me, Wojciech Szewczyk, as being top of the power league. But he cued that one so sweetly, it all seemed effortless. In fact, he overscrewed it.
yeah. Really nice though. Kept control, never really a flirt of scratching or getting too far out of line. Could go for the bank here, but you gotta believe it's the safety.
There's no doubt he's bossing this match.
Extension call.
Yeah, do you tie the 8-7 up here? It's not terrible. You're pretty low percentage to get much out of this kick if it hit it at all. Oh, he can swerve to get it. Well, that makes a difference.
Late night intensity in Jeddah in Saudi Arabia. 128 players came here with ambitions, with dreams. Now only 6 remain in the hunt for record prize money.
Yeah, Dang Jinhu. He was defeated by Johan Chua earlier, but so Chua and Kachi were our first 2 in to the semifinal. Does he go 1 rail at this? Does he come 2 rails behind, trying to get a cue ball movement? That's a nice shot there. May have gotten in the gap, I don't know, but still a very good play.
He is 5-1 down though if the gap has been left. That's the kind of thing that in the past might get under Zielinski's skin. He seems a lot more calm, a lot more passive in his chair than in previous tournaments I've seen. And that's a good thing. But the gap clearly is there. Oh, but that's clumsy.
Yeah, he was trying to, I think, bump it maybe, just keep it there. Raga gets back on the board, cuts it to 4-2.
More patience from the older man by 6 years. And it seems very likely that Zielinski will be in a safety hole again after this.
Yeah, didn't want to leave the whole ball though. It could cause problems, like if he banks the 5 into the 8, leave some of the ball. Zielinski might use the 8 as a stopper for the 5 and run the cue ball. So
Extension call.
a little more going on here than it looks. does Zielinski? Does he go after the 2-row kick to try and come at it, maybe making the black 8 after contacting the purple?
Dial straight. Ball in hand.
No contact.
Please start the clock.
I think maybe try to get a little too cute with that kick shot. That was not a hard hit at all. And, you know, with the 4-8 or 5-8 rather, excuse me, there, could have really tried to create making a ball versus something that looked tactical as a kick shot. It's going to draw back behind the 6 for the same corner as the 5.
Not the kind of player who would become overexcited. Wojciech Szewczyk, he keeps things pretty level.
And he seems, it was a little light, so he's going to have to work a little more on this than he wanted, but seems like he's getting more comfortable. I mean, he's up 6-1, or about to be up 6-1, excuse me, but let's say should be up 6-1 here shortly. All right, he's elevating. Guess he has a hint of an angle to get above the 9 for the same corner. Yeah, I was a little worried. First kind of power stroke he had to play, and he's going to get a roll. Everything else has been kind of in the medium-ish kind of swing, even on the lighter side of many of them.
Another test of Zielinski's temperament. Doesn't look frayed around the edges yet.
You know, difficult kick though. Easy to get too much under it. You know, like that. Oh, look at here. Almost straightened out off the point. I think it was going to be a little heavy and give up a bit of a cut shot, but would have been more difficult than this. That's for certain.
So from short range, Zielinski misses the brown 7 ball, but he receives the wages of sin. Fluke snooker on the 7, and now a second chance immediately.
And Szewczyk seems like the type that can learn from a mistake, especially once it doesn't really cost him. Going to be a late night here.
Wojciech Szewczyk wins the rack.
Szewczyk, gentleman that he is, acknowledges that he was fortunate there. But Zielinski's face is like thunder. 6-1 it is. And what's more, that's 6 racks in succession.
Well, that's one thing I found in Poland anyways when we were there for, I was there about 8 days, I guess. And of course, it was the middle of winter and there was a lot of snow. It seemed like every day there was somewhat of a blizzard. Just walking around with the people there didn't show a whole lot of emotion as a whole, as a group around that city.
The worst thing for myself and Michael McMullen, every day we'd walk from the hotel just across from the venue, and we'd walk right up around the railings of the venue and right back again. It was freezing cold. I was worried about slipping over and injuring myself. And then on the last day we discovered that directly across from the hotel there was a little gate. We could have just gone into the venue straight and saved ourselves about a half a mile walk.
Szewczyk to break, leading 6 racks to 1.
We've had a few of those types of things. Where was it, Lugo, where we had that little hill we had to go up to get to the bus?
Well,
I'll never forget that one night.
If you had clasped my hand, Lord knows what would have happened. I might have fallen back down again.
this doesn't look like it's going to change much. So I think the 2. I don't know if he's going to jump at this or not, but you can definitely see the difference in the object ball movement. You know, just pretty light overall, and he's going to tie up to 5 here. Thought he might take a jump at this. Not saying it's
Push out call.
the right shot, but all the players these days so good with the jump cue, and it's definitely playable, it looks like. But if you are going to push out, you almost have to tie up to 5-7 somewhat, I believe anyways.
Wiktor, it's your choice.
He left a lot of the cue ball. More than I expected anyways. This is a really nice touch, and that touch you were talking about, Phil, what a nice shot that is, especially under the gun, trailing 6-1.
Yes, I think if he gets into some kind of groove, Zielinski well capable of turning this around even now. One thing is for sure, he can rattle off racks quicker than his opponent.
10. 5.
Foul stroke.
Well,
Ball in
going
hand.
at it that way, I never thought it was possible to make contact with the 2. He missed it by quite some way.
Please start the clock.
But what a messy, horrible table this is.
Yeah, you had to hit down on it, more of a center ball. Now, what's he doing here, I wonder? I guess he's going to open right here with the 3. Draw off the 3 here. Come across the 7, because he has to get out to get a little shape on the pink 4. He can't just kind of soft draw this, and doesn't want to anyways. Is he just, what's he doing? Oh, he's going forward. Oh, look at the cueing. Thought it was a little dangerous. I thought he would draw that ball, to be fair. Try and come back to the side rail for the pink in the other side pocket, but
Almost instantaneously, it's gone from messy to wide open, and that's why this shot
Extension called.
has so much jeopardy.
he wanted to attack, and I mean, as he should. He's going to need a big roll here. Is he going to get it? Yeah, somewhat.
Well, that's just justice, because remember in the previous rack when Szewczyk missed the 7 and snookered Zielinski behind the 9. He can't complain.
Might have to play this rail first. I don't know. Sure what he's doing here. Trying to bump the 5, get the snooker that way. Oh, nice play. It's going to leak out. So probably the cue ball behind the 8 here. Looks pretty natural and really doesn't have to play the 4 back down. Really just concentrate on the cue ball. That's how good it sits.
Yeah, it's a natural hiding place
And it's a big one, right? You got a lot of room for error here. You can bump it a little bit. You can squeeze up on the side of it. Both sides of it, really. It doesn't have to be dead behind it. I would disregard the 4. He's got this too thick. He also had the 6 and the 9 to help as well, so.
Starting to walk around looking to the heavens. I've seen that before from Zielinski.
Yeah, and he desperately needs a little bit of a roll to get to the breaking end of this match. That's another thing that he does occasionally. I'll tell you, Federgorst is same.
Foul strike.
Just
Ball in hand.
loses accuracy with speed on kicks sometimes, especially the one railers.
Please start the clock.
And as I bring up Federer's name and respect, meaning how great they are, to every now and again, saw that to Mosconi a bit, but just missed some one rail kicks, I think, trying to put too much speed on the ball.
Here now, after the failed escape, if anything is routine in the quarterfinals of the World Nineball Championship, this is routine. It would be a chance squandered if he didn't take it.
Yeah, the way Szewczyk comes across is he's playing really well, but it doesn't feel like anything spectacular. It's just steady, right?
Exactly the same as this afternoon against Shane van Boening. It was a great victory, a great result, but it wasn't an overwhelmingly impressive performance by any means.
Yeah. And I think that the reason why is because the speed he breaks at, the balls just don't really disperse around the table a whole lot. So, you know, if he gets control, it's just not going to be a whole lot of cue ball movement from one end to the next and so on. Oh my, he decelled big time there. So pay attention to this 7 ball. He's got to regroup.
The missed 7 in rack 7. That total misjudgment. It tells me, and it should tell Zielinski, that he's really feeling it, Szewczyk.
Yeah, thinking about it a bit. Oh, he can go with a high ball. Okay, doesn't have to dig, so that helps. Watch out for the 9 ball coming 3 rails. Made a really nice shot similar in the Shane match. Oh, kind of squeezed it home. That cue ball's got to go, though. Yeah.
It had to go or stop. (5-2), by the way, Federgorst over Anton Raga.
Foul strike.
Only himself to blame. You can't say that was bad luck from where he was placed.
Please start the clock.
He should have cleared up all day, every day. Poor position from 6 to 7, and then hooking himself. Manna from heaven for Zielinski, so badly required.
Oh, his shot. Got out no man's land here. Got to pay attention to this. These are tough side pockets. I think the sides can play tougher than the corners, really.
We were on the verge of seeing Wojciech Szewczyk take a 7-1 lead. It's 6-2. Is that going to be just a minor blip or the start of a sustained Wiktor Zielinski comeback? I've got my theory. I think it will be. I think Szewczyk, as he's gone further ahead, has looked a little tight.
Yeah, Zielinski's got to break the balls better, though. Wasn't his best break in his last. Do think he will break them better, but it's been a minute.
He got to the last 16 last year, did Zielinski. He overcame Mickey Krause and Moritz Neuhausen, both 11-9 before losing to Chang Junlin. So he's experienced roughly this kind of environment. Of course, the prize money last year was nowhere near
Zielinski to break.
resembling what it is
6
now.
racks to 2.
Yeah, much better. The 2's going to open as well. And I think he's straight enough to be able to draw the cue ball back simply and comfortably. But look at the spread difference, right, between the 2 players. And that's just one rack. We'll probably going to see it happen again here in a moment. He should clear these. He's got work, but definitely there.
It's beyond dispute he's the most attractive player of the 2, the most natural. But that's no guarantee of success. When you're as skillful as Zielinski, when you play the game with such smoothness, verve, the one thing you need to complete the package is resolve. Is he getting better as he gets older in that department?
Yeah, I think absolutely is the answer there. I mean, without a doubt. He looked pretty good in the chair considering he was down some 5 games just a moment ago. And boy, what a big shot with the bridge to end up way short from the 6 to the 7 in the last for Szewczyk.
Zielinski wins the rack.
The match is taking on a whole new complexion. It might well have been, it should have been 7-1. Now after 9 racks it's 6-3 and Zielinski is breaking off in the 10th. Fedor Gorsh remains 5-2 up on Anton Raga. Just a reminder, Gorst is the only former winner of this World Nineball Championship. Still shooting. If he doesn't win, a new name will be engraved on the trophy.
Rack 10. Wiktor Zielinski to break, trailing 6 racks to 3.
This time the 1 short to the centre. No ball to save his bacon, nothing in. And so, given that the break was dry, Zielinski fortunate that the cue ball has stayed down one end of the table, and the 1 ball is pretty close to the other cushion. Unavailable. Yes, Szewczyk can get the tactical upper hand, but he would have preferred something on.
Looks like a pretty good shot here. Trying to go for the two-way, it looked like on the bank maybe. Now he can possibly pocket this ball. He's got a big pocket with the 7, but can he really work the rock? Wow, what a shot. Now, does he try and really go for the gusto behind the purple with the cue ball? Does he play off the right side of the 2, running the cue ball towards the 7? I like that more than the purple. He's got a piece of this.
10. Extension called.
Looks like he could go for the upper right here. To go by the 5 and run the cue ball though as well, so maybe he ignores the pocketable ball in the corner, tries to run the cue ball safe. That's a big shot there, I'll tell you, especially if he gets out here to try and like stop the bleeding a bit. A lot of players would have put a lot of speed on that, trying to maybe make the cue ball escape a bit, just in case he misses, but big shots coming from Szewczyk here. Game number 10. Oh, I'm sorry, Phil. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, Jeremy, you know, in England, there's a saying about soccer. Funny old game, they say. What a funny old game this is. Szewczyk spurns a very straightforward run out for 7-1. Here, the run out complex, the opening shot on that 2. Superb, and he might well make this.
Yeah, and I was really impressed that he settled himself and said, okay, I just got to try and be as accurate as I can on this 2 ball. Just kind of rolling it in, cueing near the rail. Kind of keeping half an eye on that matchup top as well, and Raga making a couple of uncharacteristic mistakes with the cue ball. Now a 6-2 lead, I think, for the Ghosts, Federhorst. Just kind of like right there, for instance. Seems like the cue ball just kind of settles a little quicker than I'm used to. Shouldn't be any problem, though.
This will be very gratifying. When he came to the table, it was a tough layout.
Yeah, I think the way things
Szewczyk wins the
settled
rack.
there after Zielinski's attempt at a safety, and it wasn't poor by any means, but he didn't think his countryman was going to get out from there.
7-3 for Wojciech Szewczyk, and of the 7 racks he's won in this particular match, I think that one will be the most satisfying, don't you? And I think perhaps the most important.
Yeah, absolutely. They say in America, when you're greased, you will slide, and he was sliding just a little bit after kind of had a few simple blunders, and really the one in rack number 8 to go up 7-1 and full command of this match. He's definitely got a ball game. Still at 7-3, but he's feeling better.
Yeah, and look at the body language of the two players. You saw there Szewczyk sitting in his chair upright, looking straight ahead, fully focused. As for Zielinski, the body language, well, he's trying to portray nonchalance.
Rack 11.
But
Wojciech
no one's
Szewczyk to
fooled.
break, leading 7 racks to 3.
Yeah, I think he's probably trying, probably consciously, having it out with himself a little bit. Let's keep it together, wait for our chance. Now the one's going to go in the corner. The 2's going to spin up a bit. He's going to get a shot here. I think he tried to put a little more speed into that one, actually.
He turned around as etiquette demands and apologised to Wiktor Zielinski, who remained stony-faced, to say the least.
Yeah, look at this layout. The 2, the 3, you get straight. The 4 in the right middle leads you right to the 5. I'll tell you, maybe should have got to 8 a little earlier, but it's definitely supposed to get to 8 here. This is the toughest shot. And the 7's a little covered. No. And that's what it was against Shane, I saw. He had some opportunities to really punish Shane. Kept him in it for a bit. Behind a few similar kind of situations.
Well, there, perversely, he's been helped by the fact he missed it by so far. It was a terrible attempt. He got nowhere near the pocket, and look where the 2 has come to rest. Zielinski, certainly in past years, would be at boiling point now.
Yeah, I think he's going to go for the bank here, trying to bring the cue ball up the side rail. It's going to bounce out on him, I think. And he may have left the gap as well. So here, now frustration might really settle in, especially if he gets out. Of course, with his famous jump shot, knocked another one in after the break, looking to extend his lead as well. This sits perfect to come between the 8-9-1 rail. A little thin, little light. Again, that's a somewhat of an error. He may get away with it, but that was not difficult. He had plenty of room. Just caught the 2 maybe a little thin, a little light with the tip position. Really no reason to end up short there coming across.
Extension cool.
Especially with the pink in such a handy position.
Yeah, he's sending out mixed messages to me, Szewczyk.
He's going to go back and forth, trying to rest somewhere near where the 3's at now. That's a better stroke, a little more confident in there.
There's lots of good stuff in there, but I think there's enough evidence to suggest that maybe he'll struggle to get over the line. But of course, if it gets to 8-3, he's not got that far to go.
Yeah, well, the one thing that's the weird thing about the break shot. You know, it's hard to have pressure as much on the break for some reason. And if he breaks the balls well enough, I mean, like the last one, he's not going to keep missing that kind of 2 ball. And if he gets the 2 down, it's really was going to be hard pressed to make a mistake from there. Now he needs to get a proper angle. The 7 only has 1 pocket. Doesn't want to get kind of straightish going towards the 9. I think he's straight-ish, but just enough. maybe a ½ inch. Doesn't seem too disturbed about it. Both the players with the leads on these two matches at the table trying to extend leads. He's got to get down a little ways though. Yeah. How's the speed? Really good.
Roadie's luck early in the rack. He had some good luck. Zielinski wasn't so fortunate. And when the chance arose, Szewczyk embarked on this, which should be a frame-winning effort.
Is he going to come out for the side here? I'd probably come up for the corner. I don't know. Them side pockets when the pressure's on, I'm not in love with them from those kind of angles.
Wojciech Szewczyk wins the rack.
It's been a tournament where favourites have found life difficult. Another one could bite the dust here. Wiktor Zielinski won the first rack. Since then, of the next 10, 8 have fallen to Wojciech Szewczyk. It is 8-3. Fedor Gorst 6-2 over Anton Raga. Add one to that, the scoreboard just updating, it's 7-2 for Gorst. Is he finally going to have a relative walk in the park?
Well, he's playing a guy that looks a little out of sorts at the moment, but you know he can make that comeback, just like Federer's made a few this week.
Chin resting on hand. That is the pose in Q Sports of someone who trails. Zielinski
Rack
in
12.
the pose of the
Wojciech
thinker.
Szewczyk to break.
And he's got a
Leading
lot
8
to think
racks to
about.
3.
Yeah, I think missed the one in the side there, caught the point, went down a rail. We've seen that before. We hadn't seen him miss the one on the side very often. So I think it's almost got to be like for Zielinski for the cue ball to get lost. That's what I feel like. Yeah, the two's going to get kicked into position again. And I think again, just the speed he's playing the break. That's why it just looks like kind of steady pull. When he gets a shot, it doesn't really have to move the cue ball a whole lot. The first shot, like everyone and always, usually the most difficult because it is random. But you can see again the 3 near the 4. 5 is on the bottom. But nothing too much up and down the table, if you know what I mean, Phil.
Yeah, we got to this position because of multiple kisses. There's no doubt about it. Right now, the pool gods are smiling on Szewczyk. He is playing the better pool, yes, undeniably. But the balls are running favourably. You cannot swerve that opinion.
No, not at all. And you know, he's getting a lot of shots after the break, plus very doable as far as getting to the next ball. And you know what that means with these players. When they get in control of the rack, your name doesn't have to be Josh Filler to do some real damage. It's a better stroke. 2 ball was as well. You know, and we always talked about the greats. You know, Earl Strickland, Mike Siegel, Josh Filler. When they get to the finals, they just rarely lose. But there are players on down the road where it's the same kind of thing, where they don't get as deep as often, but when they do get there, they seem to get the title, and you never know what Wojciech Szewczyk is the same. Just wants a little bounce off the rail here. That'll do. Nothing major here. The 7's very playable. Don't think you got to really pull the ball. Just a little past where the cue ball's at now. That's plenty. Even where the cue ball is at now, that's good. Tall man that can reach everything. And the right-hander, which sets up for this kind of little bit of a stretch.
Yeah, tall man, and you'll see here, he's got an extremely wide stance.
Dig on this a little bit, a little low outside spin.
Good.
And Rockets just getting no chances over there. Dry break and one over the corner, and Snuggered good luck rolling out here or pushing out against Fedor Gorst. Best jumper in the world.
He's not been flawless. He has missed the odd pot, but I think everyone would be shocked if he missed this.
Wojciech Szewczyk wins the rack.
9-3. Szewczyk needs just 2 more racks to go deeper in the World Nineball Championship than he's ever done before. As for Wiktor Zielinski, he requires a rearguard action, the likes of which, yes, he's capable of producing, but right now it must seem a million miles off. Got to ask you this, Jeremy, as a tournament pool player, you played in scores of tournaments, high profile, all that kind of stuff. This must be one of the biggest fears, that you are really up for something, really up for a match, and you don't really get an awful lot of chance, and your opponent plays nicely and also gets every roll going. That must be the big fear, that sometimes it's out of your hands.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, and I will admit that I always felt like that was a rare occasion. You know, I was pretty real with myself, and you know, occasionally I'd said, well, the break just didn't let me allow to win, and that was very rare.
Rack 13.
I looked at a
Wojciech
couple
Szewczyk
chances
to break.
that,
Leading 9
that
racks
maybe
to
I
3.
gave away to create more chances, right? But yeah, it did happen a few times, and it's always a fear, and you know, it's a fear more with certain types of players, right? But it could happen with any players, you know, with these types of tournaments with so many greats. But you know, I think it's almost like if you think about it more often, it might happen, I guess. But yeah, I see what you're saying, Phil. But look at how good the 1 ball has been. He's going to get a little bit of a look at the 2. Maybe the green 6 is in the way.
Yeah, that 1 keeps firing into the center. He did misjudge 1 break, and of course he fluked the 1.
Yeah. So I think he's got a little bit of the 2 ball. But you can see the majority of the object balls have stayed on the bottom end. Now, I don't know if he can hit right English on this, if he can hit right spin. He's got some options here, but sometimes when you're partially snookered, you can't hit that much spin because you'll kind of deflect into that object ball, that being the green 6. Maybe going for this in a somewhat of a sense.
Okay.
Extension call.
I was talking about Szewczyk's very wide stance, and I think it's perfectly illustrated with this camera shot.
He's going to like the object ball, I think. nestled up on the 2 as well.
Hold the clock, please.
Better Gorse with another jump.
The 4 ball is frozen.
Shot the
Please
gap
start the
with the
clock.
cue ball. Wow. Called the 4 ball frozen, so that makes things even more difficult. That means if you're new to pool, when the 2 ball is struck, you can't just kind of simply let the 4 rest on the rail.
Extension call.
Just got to get the 2, the cue ball, or another object ball to a rail, or pocket a ball. Well, that picture tells us all right there how this match has gone.
In cue sports, you do see players prematurely give out the vibe that everything's against me. But I think in this match, it really has been for Zielinski.
Is he just going to let it rip? I don't know what he's doing here. I was going to say, I don't know what the plan was. I think the plan was pretty hard to figure out, to be honest. I'll tell you, during some of those crazy matches we've seen from Fedor Gorst all week, he'll admit that he didn't play his best, but undoubtedly he probably didn't maybe get the best end of the rolls at times as well. But I'll tell you, he's taken full advantage of a few things tonight. Yeah. Looks like he's in position to go up 8-2 on Anton Raga. Now, Raga's played some loose safeties. There's been a few times where Raga had a chance to make things a little more difficult on Fedor Gorst, and it's not over, that's for sure. But he's got to first get an opportunity and maybe have somebody steal Fedor Gorst jump cue in the midst as well.
Well, maybe the worm's turning.
I'll tell you what I would look at. Is there a kiss shot on the 5 that's really easy here? That overhead told me maybe so. He's not going to really look at it. It may be a little tricky, but it looked like it laid all right. Maybe not. It's not terrible, though. Oh, he spread that cue ball nicely. I bet he didn't feel like he could spread it that far. He would have never flirted with the corner.
Ruthlessly keeping the handcuffs on.
Yeah.
That's what you've got to be, ruthless.
Oh, absolutely.
Because on another night, he could be the one having all the rolls against him. There's no room for guilt.
No, not at all. And he knows. That's what I was talking about to start this match,
Fast, right?
where I felt
49.
like Zielinski had really improved on the kicking, because
Please stop
before
the
he
clock.
would miss some kicks that you didn't expect. I'm not saying that was easy, but it's 2 in this match so far. 1 rail kicks, really. Does the 2 go here? I guess so. He's going to draw this. Is he going to follow 1 rail? I can't quite tell how he's cueing from the overhead. And with a high ball. And again, the 3 near the 4. It's going to be easy to get to the 5. Up the table kind of by itself and wide open. The 6 and 7 grouped together. Should get to double digits here, Phil.
Yeah, after midnight local time, so not prime time, but prime position.
Yeah, nice touch there, just holding that nice natural angle. Now a little draw stroke up, maybe till to the head string. That'd be a good position for the cue ball. Should control the speed nicely, doesn't have to hit it very hard, being close to the pink. And it may be just the way the match has gone, period, but he looks like he's got more pep in his step, like he's not really wanting to flounder.
Yeah, I think he realizes that mentally he's got Zielinski where he wants him. (8-2) Gorst is confirmed.
Yeah, he made 2 incredible jump shots in that game there. And that's one thing I'll tell you. That's how good he is with the jump cue. And you got to think about certain shots, anyways. No matter who you're playing, all the youngsters these days, or the the guys that are playing full time are really good with the jump cue. But he's extra special with it, to where you have to consider long distance, angles, position routes, safety routes. He can play with the jump cue. It's pretty sickening if you're his opponent at times, anyways. All right, just 3 simple ones. He's going to fall underneath this nicely, so he's got tons of options for the 9. Kachi match, it could have been really close a few different ways, and it wasn't too far from very close anyways. But other than that, these 4 quarterfinals are looking like they're going to be pretty one-sided.
Indeed, and Wojciech Szewczyk is now on the hill. He could be following the example of Johan Chua, who much earlier this evening on this table completed an 11-3 victory over Dang Junhui. Szewczyk breaking off in the next. That's precisely what he will want to do. A study in contrasts on the right. Szewczyk together. Intense on the left. A player who looks as though he's had enough. Who seems despondent, crestfallen, aggrieved. And I think with some justification, because he's not been dealt the best hand tonight.
No, not at all. I mean, there's a couple things he'd like to have back. Wasn't his best break when he did win that first game. He served up ball in hand.
Szewczyk to break. On the hill, leading 10 racks to 3.
The 7 ball that Szewczyk missed and snookered him. And, but Szewczyk's played some pretty tidy safeties. That big 2 ball, right, when it was 6-3, that was a huge ball he pocketed from that left side rail and really made a nice out from there on a few other shots. So there's that 1 on the side. The 2's going to get hemmed up on the top rail.
Yeah, that's it. I think in any sport, the one unbeatable combination is skill and good fortune. But I agree with you. If Szewczyk does win this one comfortably, the pivotal rack will definitely be the one where the 2 ball went in and he cleared.
Push out call.
Because at that time in the match, he'd been 6-1 ahead. Suddenly Zielinski's back to 6-3, and you start to think it's game on.
Yeah, and it was back to 6-3 after a couple really easy mistakes, or easy positions to make a mistake from Szewczyk. So you got to tip your hat on that 2 ball that most likely is going to be super huge when looking back at this match.
Wiktor, it's
I'll
your
tell
choice.
you, even when you're snookered, of course, you're trying to win every game, but you got a little more leeway when you have such a huge lead on the push out. Of course, you have to be aware of a guy that can run a bunch of racks, but not saying you're going to play loose by any means, but play a bit more 2-way kind of shots where the cue ball ain't necessarily totally snookered, but where Zielinski's got to be on point no matter
please
what.
Play again.
Midway through the match, I was saying I thought that Szewczyk might have trouble getting over the line. There's still a chance that could happen, but my opinion on that has changed. I think the lead is so substantial that the nervousness has been diluted.
I'm really curious what he sees here as a good shot off the push out. I don't think Zielinski may have done the right thing. Oh, wow. Okay. I think that was the right shot, though. I liked it. 6-8 got a little funny. This shot's a little funny as well with angle. Like the stun by the 6-8, right? But then you're going to have some speed into the ball. Is the 9 going to, you know, prove a problem? Is he going to get stunned too much, come 2 rails into the 8 or 6 and get pinned? So, like everything's a bit of jeopardy, it seems. Took a gamble, and I think he was supposed to. Not only that, it really heightened the chance on the 2 ball.
9-2, Fedor Gorst.
Did he get enough to be able to kill the cue ball? So he needs a pocket for the 6. Is he going to come 1 rail into 6, maybe sliding? He's going between them. Now, if he rests on the rail here, could be a little bit of an issue. He's a tall man and he can elevate pretty easily, but makes it a hair missable. Does he want to roll it in, take the thin cut? Is he going to elevate and just kind of hold the ball? Now he's over the 8 a little, or no, he's okay. A little left of it.
What do they say? A journey of 1,000 miles starts with one small step. One rack at a time, one ball at a time. See where it gets him.
Zielinski wins the rack.
10-4. He's still feeling as though it's a losing cause. He might say otherwise, but inside he's probably unable to shake that thought. But win the next couple, and this is a match of such enormity that you never know.
Well, the thing is, if you somehow break and run one or win a couple games, show them you're breaking the balls, you may promote a mistake with a little pressure. With Szewczyk thinking, okay, he's trying to put some racks together, and that becomes very dangerous even with a big lead. So, if you kind of scrape it together a game or so, I mean, you could have some things unfold, I guess, but I don't think you're going to get help from Szewczyk that way. You need a couple break and runs.
Given the prize fund here, a total of $1 million. Given the first prize, the runner-up prize, even the semi-final prizes. We knew that history would be remolded, pool history. How about this? These two trying to become the first Polish player to reach the final of the World Nineball Championship. One of them is going to be a step away.
Well, there you go. You got a shot. It's thin. Has a bank as well. You got to figure it's going to be the cut, though. Pretty thin, but I think he can check it with inside. He's good at all these kind of shots, especially when he's close to him. Has a great touch. Got to believe he's staying offensive. Could bury him behind the pink pretty easily here. Doesn't have to go for this. I think he is, though. Is he over the 7? That's going to hurt. That's going to hurt. I tell you.
The awkwardness of the queuing meant he couldn't do a great deal with the white.
Kind of natural up and down the table, though. And again, this is all how you hit the pocket. The 7's not really a problem. If he hits the 7, he probably misses the 4. But probably could catch the 8 if he overcut it a little bit. Yeah, hit it thick, so. Kind of rushed it out here when he was down on the ball, maybe, compared to what we've seen so for the most part of this match.
Yeah, I think his attitude has been better than I've seen in the past, but you can see that the disgust, if you like, is bubbling under the surface.
You think
Extension call.
you think him playing and, you know, things not going. Did Gorse make a mistake? He missed a 7 ball to go up 10-2. Wow. But you think it's because he's playing his countrymen, maybe? A little different overall attitude going in?
Maybe. Also, of course, with the advancing years, more maturity. Well, another chance here to extend the contest. The safety shot called far too thick.
It wasn't easy, but I thought Szewczyk may take a chance at that long rail bank on the pink and hold his ball. Of course, the way it laid, you had to really know the bank, and not saying he doesn't know shots, but there's certain banks that, you know, 9-ball players, if you don't play other disciplines, you know, that one you had to kind of stiff it a little bit, little spin. Oof. That was a sweater.
Didn't give that one the care and attention it required, but it went in just about. And Wiktor Zielinski is not giving up the ghost. He was 10-3 down. Now the score reads 10-5. In all cue sports, there are so many stories of incredible collapses, heartbreaking defeats from positions of overwhelming strength, stories of great resolve, resilience, comebacks you can't quite believe. When Shane Van Boning won the 2022 World 9-Ball Championship, he was 10-3 down to Mika Immonen, and he won 11-10. That's just one instance in a whole catalogue. So they don't come along very often, but they do occur occasionally.
Yeah, we've seen, you know, something that was not quite as much, but down 7 games. Fedor Gorst 7-0 down yesterday. Josh Filler 9-4. Talked about that the other day with Michael McMullen. The one that hurts me is still
Rack 16.
it's when the Houston Oilers were up
Zielinski to break.
35-3
Setting 10 racks to
against
5.
the Buffalo Bills. I think it was 1993. Going in the second half, and they lose the game 41-38 in the playoffs, and of course go on to lose in the Super Bowl to the Dallas Cowboys. It could have been an all-Texas Super Bowl. This is the problem. If he's got to push out at any moment, and if they lay really funny, you know, it's the 2-9 wired with the 8 hanging in the other pocket. This could be brutal here. You may have to go for this.
Cool.
Yeah, as sports fans, you remember those comebacks. What about 1966 US Open? Arnold Palmer 7 clear with 9 to play against Billy Casper. He went for the scoring record, lost.
Yeah, that was one of the first things that when I started playing golf, just kind of went into some history about it. Of course, I'd watched golf plenty. My older brother played a lot of golf, and we always watched the Masters and some other events, but yeah, I read all about that. But again, you know, You just got to kind of forget the situation you're in. You know, the cut break worries me
Extension called.
anytime you're coming back because the cue ball zigzagging all over the place, gets kissed sometimes and scratches, or you could just lose it yourself. Yeah, like he's going to certainly leave him on the rail here. That's super important. Oh, you've left him really thin.
Wojciech, it's your choice.
He get this back. I don't know if he can check the cue ball or draw the cue ball with any control to play a safety. Maybe there's something there, but I don't really see it that much. In the greatest camera view, get a little more from the left side. We may see more of the 2-ball, but yeah. May help us out there a little bit. I'm surprised he's taking this, to be fair. Leveling out. I don't know what he's doing here. Is he trying to zigzag the cue ball here, banking the 2 up and down? A lot going on here. He hit it great, though. Hit it wonderfully. Really good stuff there. Perfect speed on the blue 2, knowing he had the 6 and the 7. Well, looky here, a 3-9 combination. Is he not looking at the 3-9 with the 8-ball there? I mean, this has got to be a decent sized pocket. Not saying it's as good as if the 8 wasn't there. Oh yeah, that's definitely playable. Because it's kind of tricky coming on one rail. You could get steep on the 3 in the side. Now he passed up a 4-9, or was it a 6-9 combination earlier? But I think he's got to play this one. Could have got a little better, though. I'll tell you, he's cutting it a bit. So again, the key here is don't let it come up the side rail too much and you double kiss the 8 and the 9 just sits.
Extension call.
Guess what? He's called his extension. This is the kind of situation where an extension is tailor-made.
Absolutely. No reason not to use it. Don't leave the timeout just in the bag. Again, not too soft, not too hard, just something right in the middle. Yeah, that's a $23,000 9-ball with
Wojciech
a
Szewczyk
chance
wins
to
the
make
match.
a bit more.
11 racks to 5.
Very good, very sporting from Wiktor Zielinski. He will come back. He's got time on his side. He's only 23 years of age. He didn't play his best match tonight. What's more, as I'm sure Wojciech Szewczyk is saying, he had a little bit of luck, didn't he? More than a little bit. But he's a good guy, Szewczyk. He's into the semi-finals of the World Championship now for the first time. He was in the quarterfinals 9 years ago. He's gone one step deeper. And who knows, he could win the whole shebang. That victory was achieved on finals day. It's post-midnight here in Jeddah in Saudi Arabia, and we have 3 quarterfinalists in place. Much earlier tonight, Johan Chua convincingly beat Dang Junhui 11-3. Not so convincing, but a victor nevertheless, was Eklund Kachi. He plays Chua in one semi-final tomorrow. The only question to be answered: will Fedor Gorsht provide the opposition for Wojciech Szewczyk next? Well, he's well ahead against Anton Raga, 9-3 at the last count. That's on the main table. As for our streaming coverage tonight, well, it's over. And of course, the streaming coverage for the week is because it's just one table tomorrow. So once again, thank you everyone who's tuned into the Matchroom Pool YouTube channel. In their numbers, they've also tuned in for Table 2 coverage, the Matchroom Multisport YouTube channel. A big thanks from all of us here. Tomorrow, well, today, It's finals day. The World Nineball champion will be crowned tomorrow, and they will receive a king's ransom of $250,000 US. I'm sure you'll be tuning in. It should be something special. For now, though, from Jeremy Jones and myself, Phil Yates, it's a very good night.